Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first ever Collider Sports Fantasy Football Draft. My name is Josh McCouga. I've been asked to host this rowdy group that will be putting stickers of grown men's name on a plastic board up here. Over the next 2 hours, I will be making sports references about Steelers' victories over the last 35 to 40 years, including Louis Lipps' home address, still in Scott Township, Pennsylvania. Before we get into the draft order, I need to bring up the commissioner of the Collider Football Fantasy Sports, and also together in unison, he's a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan for some reason. He grew up in Riverside, aka North Corona, California. He is Svelte Goodell, Cody Hall.
Hello. That's right. All right, so I'm gonna go over the scoring real quick. It's all gonna be pretty standard for the most part, with the exception we are doing PPR scoring. So for those of you who are not familiar, Roki, you don't have to talk every time I say a word. You know that, right?
That was Jay.
For every time a receiver or running back, tight end gets a catch, you are getting a point. So if you have a receiver get 10 catches for 100 yards, instead of getting 10 points, you are getting 20. If that makes any sense. As far as quarterback scoring is concerned, I know there was a lot of hubbub before we started the draft, but it's going to be 4 points for every touchdown for a quarterback, not 6, because quarterbacks get a ton of touchdowns. It's not fair. Any questions?
Is that it?
Your mom!
Fantastic. See you guys.
Svelte Cody Hall.
Hate this league already!
We were calling him Skinny Goodell for a second, but we're gonna go with Svelte Goodell because he's a grown man. He's not just some skinny kid anymore. He's running this league. He's doing a hell of a job. It's a thankless job. So Cody, thank you so much for running the league. Your point breakdown was thorough, very, very thorough. It was just 2 things. So the rest of the points and the rules will be broken down in the description of this video. If you're watching this at home and you're enjoying the Collider Sports Fantasy Football Draft, subscribe to the channel. You guys can, all the stuff, subscribe to the podcast channel. This will all be released on that. And this is a great way, if you are a newbie to fantasy football and you want to see how idiots draft, this is the perfect video for you. And you're probably wondering, Josh, why aren't you drafting? Well, I had a problem. At my height, I think I was running 6 to 7 teams. I didn't have a job. I was drinking during the day, and I was yelling at a computer most of my afternoon. So I have decided to exclude myself from the league and just watch from above, maybe consult some of the newbies. Jack Hind, a fine gent bloke, as they say across the pond. His first fantasy football draft. So I've been signed on to consult with him. I will consult with anybody that asks, but don't take my advice because it's worth nothing. I am in the hole still in my life from fantasy football.
Get well, Josh.
Thank you, Mac. That being said, we'd like to bring up the one and only Wendy Lee Zaney. She will help with the draft order. All right. So the 12 names are in the hat. The first selection, Wendy, go ahead.
Oh.
Number 1 overall pick, Perry Nemmer.
What? I knew it!
The fix is in. The fix is in. The second overall pick,
I don't like this person.
Wendy is not a fan. That would be one Tom Dagnino, a.k.a. Finstock. Finstock. Third overall, the pride of the Miami-Dade County area, Mark Fernandez. Fourth overall pick, the loudest one in the room, Jay Washington.
Damn right!
Fifth overall pick, the money zone, as I like to call it, Mark Ellis. Mark Ellis. Yeah, welcome there, Mark. Sixth overall pick, Svelte Goodell, Cody Hall. Cody Hall. Seventh overall pick goes to the one and only, the ping pong champion, Adam Smith of Collider. Adam Smith. In the 8th pick, he's got a great set of hands to make pizza with. That'd be Matt Nost. Matt Nost.
Jesus Christ.
Matt Nost also co-hosts Collider Sports Time with John Roca. Soon to be taking over as main host. That's the fan poll I just took on Twitter. 9th overall pick, John Roca. John Roca, the former host of Collider Sports Time, now just a guy that hangs around the office. 10th overall pick, the guy that nobody really likes because he's a Patriots fan, Jeff Snyder. Jeff Snyder, he wore eye black because he played sports once in his life. Okay. 11th overall pick from across the pond, Jack Hind. Jack Hind with the 11th pick. And finally, Storian with Dorian Parks. Dorian Parks. I just followed him on Twitter. I don't know why. All right, thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Wendy. Give it up for Wendy Lizani, everybody.
It's going to be a hairy year.
Okay. Now, how this draft works? If you've done a fantasy draft, you probably know it's a snake draft. So Perry selects first. Once we get down to Dorian, you will have the 12th and 13th pick. Then it'll come back around. So Jack, you'll have the next pick, and then so on. And then Perry, you'll have the 2 picks at the end, and then we'll snake through. This is a 15-round draft. So buckle up, get some nachos, get some beers. It's going to get loud. It's going to get contentious. And I'm sure Jay Washington will fake punch somebody because he is a garbage person. All right.
Well, we know what I'm doing with my first pick.
Perry, are you ready to select? Do we get the draft underway? Perry is on the clock. Come on up, Perry. Perry Nemiroff with the first overall pick, the pride of Long Island, New York. She likes scary things.
I feel like I'm the only one who didn't want the first pick because I needed someone to set an example for me first.
She's not a leader.
Do I just pick it? Do I just say it?
With the first overall pick, Perry Nemiroff selects
First pick for my first draft ever. I guess I go with Le'Veon Bell, right?
Le'Veon Bell from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay. You're on sticker duty, right?
Thank you, Mark. All right, for the second overall pick, Tom Dagnino, please step to the podium. A.K. Finstock, straight off his European vacation.
In the immortal words of Buddy Ryan when he took the helm of the Philadelphia Eagles, there's a winner in town. Obviously, I'm going with Todd Gurley, man, from the Los Angeles Rams.
Todd Gurley, second overall pick, Tom Dagnino. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Tom.
All right, to him.
Mark Fernandez on the clock. The third overall pick.
I'm a little nervous about this.
The man in charge.
Yeah. I'm going to go for the Ohio Stater, Ezekiel Elliott.
Elliott.
Wow, interesting
Zeke.
choice.
No, a lot of people are saying Ezekiel Elliott could have a tough year. It's a ballsy pick right there.
He's a quarterback, right?
With the fourth overall pick, Jay Washington, the pride of Chicago. A team that may have 2 wins this year.
That was, I could have made a real one. I would like to say, giving honor to God, who's head of my life, thank pastor, mother, and with the 4th pick, I would like to draft in this fantasy football league. I want to thank my therapist for helping me out today. If it wasn't for him and Wellbutrin, I wouldn't be here. Let me get Kareem Hunt, Kansas City.
Kareem Hunt. That's we all know who's not competing for a playoff spot.
And with that pick, Jay Washington has forfeited the rest of the season.
Oh, he actually gets some yardage. Y'all didn't play it.
Mark Ellis, the 5th overall pick in the draft, the pride of Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
My name is not Mark Ellis as far as this goes. My team name is Jack Del Rio Speedwagon. And with the 5th pick in the 2018 Collider Sports NFL Fantasy Draft, I'm going to select, well, maybe you should do it because it's a wide receiver that you may be a fan of.
They call him Tony Toe Tap, Antonio Brown. Brown. Great pick. Probably the best player in the league. Svelte Goodell coming to the podium with his first pick, 6th overall. Cody, if you could real quick, why are you a Tampa Bay Bucks fan in 10 words or less?
I made a really bad decision in life.
You like the uniforms, the arms.
They're just so adorable. I'm going to go with David Johnson.
David Johnson, running back. The Arizona Cardinals, fresh off an injury of last year, his hands are made of balsa wood. Adam Smith with the 7th overall pick. Is this your first ever fantasy team?
Yes, it is.
Adam
Yeah.
Smith of Collider, hell of a guy, great ping pong player.
Thank you.
First ever NFL draft fantasy-wise.
Little nervous.
Adam, where would you like to go with the 7th pick?
Well, David Johnson was going to be my pick, but that was just taken by Mr. Cody Hall. I'm going with, I believe it's Saquon Barkley.
Saquon
Barkley.
Saquon Barkley, a Penn State product. Way to go. Congratulations, Adam. Hell of a pick. I like it.
Rookie in the first round.
His body's fresh. He's going to be catching balls out of the backfield. He's Quadzilla. Next on the next to the podium, he has a shirt of every football team out there. Nobody's sure what team he actually roots for. That's Matt Nost. Matt Nost. He wore a Dennis Rodman shirt to an NFL draft. David Robinson.
For Mark Ellis.
Oh,
For
okay.
Mark Ellis.
Guys, this is football. All right.
This is football, but I own about 57 basketball shirts. I can't believe Kareem Hunt was already taken. Seems a little early. I'll take Kamara.
Alvin Kamara from the New Orleans Saints. John Steven, John Kane, the Outlaw.
Get off the mic. Former host of TV Talk there, Josh McCook. I will select at number
Just so everybody's aware,
9.
TV Talk is back.
Yeah, it is back. It's back on Fridays, TV Talk. I love this city. I've never visited, but I'm a big fan of the Rockets. So I'm going to take DeAndre Hopkins.
As he headbutts the microphone on his way out with DeAndre Hopkins with a hell of a quarterback throwing to
Con
him.
mi número 9 selección, lo elijo DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah.
I didn't know he knew Spanish.
Thanks. It was in stereo. Appreciate that.
Why is his name in Spanish? No? DeAndre Hopkins. It would still be DeAndre
Very
Hopkins.
Hawkins, no matter what.
Coming to the podium for the 10th pick in the 12-team draft
Should be out the house.
from Boston, Massachusetts, and a Patriots fan, it's Jeff Snyder.
My coworkers are what I thought they were, which is a bunch of losers. For my first pick, I'll take the greatest wide receiver in the game, working on a new deal, Mr. Odell Beckham.
Nice.
Just a heads up for all you people watching at home, Jeff Snyder's eye black are just Band-Aids he put a Sharpie on. So there's that. Coming to the podium next, we have straight from England, the UK, Jack Hine across the pond.
David Beckham.
He can't. He cannot draft Beckham.
Get the Chargers defense.
Just as also to all you British friends out there, you can't take a kicker in every round. No kicker.
Thanks for hosting the first Collider Sports draft. I'm going to try and go for my position in the draft and play that strength with me being number 11, and I'm going to take Keenan Allen. Los Angeles Chargers.
I thought he was going to go Julio.
I thought he was going to go Julio. So you know, fucked up, son. Keenan Allen, all right. I thought he was 13, but
Wait,
okay.
you took Ellis's thing.
Remember, Dory got the next two, y'all. Pay attention to this bullshit.
All right, Dorian, you have 2 picks coming up. Dorian and Parks, Dorian with Dorian, the new segment here on Collider.
Dorian with Dorian, let's be with. I think I'm going to go with Devontae Freeman.
Devontae Freeman with the 12th overall pick. As we start the second round, first pick in the second round, Dorian, who you going with?
All right, Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook.
My bad.
It's all good.
choice, D.
Come around, I like it. All right, so Devontae Freeman and Dalvin
Dalvin
Cook.
Cook.
Love it. Okay.
You guys take another
2 RBs.
Devontae Freeman and Dalvin Cook? Yep. Damn,
He got both his backs.
You took 2 Knowles. Respect.
He got both his backs. That's good.
Coming back to the stage, Jack Hine.
Cook looks solid. Yep. Yeah. Good choices.
Let's go with Jacksonville's Fournette. I don't know. Leonard Fournette. Well, I can trade you later, right? If you pick up somebody that I want or somebody that you already have that I want.
Jack Hind, Leonard Fournette, coming back to the podium after a screaming fit. Yeah.
It's Air Guitar Nation premiere.
Where would you like to go, Band-Aid face?
All right. I was going to go Fournette. Thanks a lot, Jack. Instead, I'll take the boring but reliable Julio Jones.
Julio down by the schoolyard. Coming back around, John Roca, everybody. Please say it in broken Spanish.
Another favorite city of mine, San Diego. I will go with Melvin Gordon. Melvin
There's
Gordon.
no more teams in San Diego, just so we're aware. They are now the Los Angeles Chargers. But it's always San Diego. Okay. Who knew that Rocha was so loyal to the San Diego area? But all you fans from San Diego, you got an outlaw now.
Go Comic-Con.
Wow.
All right, coming back, Matt Nost. Hell of a basketball player. Co-host of the Top 10 show. Some say the better half of the Top 10 show.
I know. That's what jealousy looks like. Go ahead, just select. He's a hairy monkey. What do you care?
Wow, with 1 point for PPR, that really influences.
It does.
All right, I'll take Joe Mixon from Cincinnati.
Ooh, Mixon.
Joe Mixon.
Good choice.
Everybody's favorite first-time fantasy football player and ping pong champion, Adam Smith.
That's gonna be me. Hello. All right. We're looking at Christian McCaffrey.
It's a great pick. Christian McCaffrey. I like him this year a lot, actually. Pride of Stanford, playing out of Carolina. Looking at a run-first offense. Middle of the pack, 6th, now the 12th pick. Well, I don't know. What is that? I can't do the math. Cody Hall.
LaShawn McCoy.
Of course.
LaShawn McCoy. Shockingly still in the National Football League. Up next, one Mark Ellis. Host of Movie Talk. A legendary stand-up comedian, fan of the Predator Burger at Carl's Jr. That doesn't exist. That's just a pitch for you guys in the marketing campaign. It should. Also told me in strict confidence that his favorite Star Wars movie is in fact Return of the
We're
Jedi.
at 30 seconds.
He's actually helping.
Do you want to come up here and get some cardio doing the stickers?
Telling you, Chico.
First of all, it'd be great if we had another podium in the studio, so everybody watching at home didn't have to watch me bend over repeatedly during just doing the best I can here. I'm going to select from Chicago, Jordan Howard.
Jordan Howard. Okay. Here, hook me up. Feeling good. He's good. Shaking out. Woo. Jay Washington.
I want to thank you for picking Jordan Howard when no one else would. Since I didn't want to go this way, but you guys are taking all my picks, I'm going to go Roll Tide, Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry. Damn.
Okay. Mark Fernandez. You cannot draft Dan Marino, but I'd appreciate it if you did. Okay.
I'm going to go for the Minnesota Viking wide receiver, Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs. Okay. In front of Thielen.
I like this guy a lot. He's going to be this guy's number one guy, Devontae Adams.
God damn it!
Adams.
I don't know what you get upset about. He wasn't going to hang out with 12 picks.
I could have. I was
Green
hoping everybody
Bay.
was going to knock these running backs out.
Devontae Adams. All right, as we end the second round, I'd like to bring up Perry Nemiroff with the final pick of the second round. Perry, you also have the first pick in the third round, so be prepared with 2.
All right, I've got him. I want Michael Thomas.
Nice choice,
Michael
Barry.
Thomas.
And Jarek McKinnon.
And Jarek
Jarek
McKinnon.
McKinnon. That's
Michael
solid.
Thomas, Jarek
That's
McKinnon.
solid, Perry.
Thank you, Perry Nemiroff. All right, we are now in the third round. Before we head into Finstock's pick, I'd like to thank Mark Ellis for doing sticker duty. I'd like to thank the fine people at the Band-Aid Corporation for providing Jeff Snyder's eyewear today for whatever reason he chose Band-Aids. Yeah. I'd also like to thank the fine people at Plaid who provide John Rocha's wardrobe on a daily
For the
basis.
fuck's sake.
And I'd like to thank the fine people of Miami for believing that their sports teams will do better and each year disappointed.
Go Marlins!
All right, Tom, with your third overall pick.
I've won 8 fantasy football championships since 2006, and I always do it with a 1-2 combo. I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers.
First quarterback taken. Mark Fernandez, high school quarterback.
Hold on, there's a whole network of people that I pay that are texting me mathematical analyses. I'm gonna go
He's looking at his Venmo.
I'm gonna go Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill. All right. Okay. It's going to be crazy when we win our 7th Super Bowl this year.
What round is this? Number 3? Okay. With the 3rd pick in this bullshit draft. Because y'all full of shit. I'm going to get my heart out the way. Those are fighting words.
This is where the punch comes.
This is where it comes for real. Drew Brees.
Oh! Wow, okay. All right. Before Mark makes his pick, I'd like to point out that Mark and I are both wearing flip-flops. Proper attire for summer here in Los Angeles. It can be warm and feet get sweaty. Flip-flops.
And so I'm wearing Darius Guice's sticker in honor of our fallen running back.
You really have Gleason's sticker?
I have Gleason's sticker right here because it's right next to my heart. Thank you, Mr. Trebek. I am going to go with the 3rd pick for me in the 3rd round. I'm going to say, God, this is tough.
Do it!
Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce. First tight end off the board, and it's not Gronk. Impressive. First tight end off the board. Svelte Goodell, you're up next. He's the pride of Tampa Bay. Just for all of you out there that are wondering, he is not Brad Johnson's son. He is not Brad Johnson's son. We also can't prove it.
And Martin Grammaticus' son.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. As much as I want to go with Mike Evans, is AJ Green still available?
Yes, he is.
Even though I'm a better quarterback than Andy Dalton probably is, but I'm going to go with AJ Green.
It's a good pick.
It's a good pick.
Okay. Mark, do you have yours?
Good pick, Commish.
Adam Smith.
Rob Gronkowski.
Rob Gronkowski was quick. He came in hot.
What'd you get? You got Gronk? You went and got Gronk?
Matt Nost, your 4th pick. Sorry, 3rd pick.
3rd pick.
Sorry about that. 3rd pick.
I'll take T.Y. Hilton.
T.Y. Hilton for Matt Nost. John Steven Roca.
I've got 30 seconds.
I believe in this round you'll be coming up and talking about your sponsor, Cowboy Hats for non-Cowboys.
Rogan doesn't know what to do. He's absolutely clueless right now.
He looks pensive, ladies and gentlemen. Brand new kicks. He's got his Florida State shirt on underneath his customary plaid, and I believe he's going to be picking Jameis Winston with his 3rd pick.
Jesus. Jimmy Garoppolo.
I know I said crap about Kirk Cousins, but I kind of like that he's been looking good in preseason, so I'm going to take Adam Thielen as a receiver.
Is it Thielen or Thielen? Is it Thielen?
Damn it.
Can anybody correct me out there? Is it Thielen or Thielen? Thielen. Thank you. Jeff Snyder to the podium. Sponsored in part by Johnson & Johnson Baby Band-Aids. Small enough for a man's face, big enough for a kid's finger.
Did you just come up with that on the spot? Again, Roca stole my pick. Thielen was a great call. Can't believe he wasn't the first Viking taken over Diggs. This is tough, I'm on the clock, huh? All right. I'm just going to do it because I can't stand to have any of you have him instead of me. The captain.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Coming up next, Jack Hind.
Carrot? No, thank you, Mark. Massively appreciate the offer of a carrot, though. Very wonderful of you.
You don't eat carrots in Ireland?
Says the guy wearing a Redskins jersey.
Oh, burn. You're going straight at the Native American.
And it's RG3.
For whatever number pick this is, I believe it's the 3rd one, I will go with Larry Fitzgerald.
Well done. Just so everybody's aware, Larry Fitzgerald went to the University of Pittsburgh, the greatest city in this fair nation. All right, Dorian Sparks.
All right.
He went to the Young Direct, the University of Phoenix. Him and I are alums together. Him and I are alums of the University of Phoenix. Don't you hate?
All right, I'm going to go with Demarius Thomas.
Demarius Thomas.
Demarius Thomas.
But I like that you pronounce it French.
Fuck. No, I'm going to go with Demarius Thomas.
Demarius Thomas, okay.
And then I'm going to go with my boy Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn. Beast mode. He might be retired too, though. So.
Marshawn Lynch just retired. It was just announced. It wasn't. I'm kidding. I'm messing with you. Dorian looked at me very concerned. All right. We are now into the fourth round. Dorian led us off with Marshawn Lynch, the first pick in the fourth round. Jack Hind back to the stage. Anything offensive you want to say to the people across the pond before you get up here?
Oh, wonderful.
Parents in Australia.
It's so welcoming being here. My first time. Mike Evans has not been taken yet.
He has not.
I will take Mike Evans.
Great
please.
pick. Great. Good. Coming back to the board, old Band-Aid face himself. Tom Brady's long-lost cousin.
I hate to do this to the boss man, but I'm going to do it.
Don't do it.
Kenyon Drake.
Do it.
Kenyon
Don't
Drake.
fucking do it.
Who did he get?
Kenyon. Did he get Kenyon?
Kenyon Drake off the board. Kenyon Drake off the board. John Roca, always looking pensive. He's wearing glasses, so you know he's smart.
Damn it. All right. This is scary, but I'm going to do it. Russell Wilson. I will take Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson's still playing football. All right. Before Matt Nose comes to the podium, I'd like to make sure that everybody knows this portion of the program is sponsored by Matt Nose's T-shirt collection. He'll tell you they're real vintage. He'll make sure that you know it.
Goddamn right. I gotta find these things, make sure they fit. Of course they're vintage. It's not this bullshit that he wears.
Yeah. Chinese website.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
Thanks, man.
There you go.
Supporting international trade.
Exactly. Sending your money abroad, you son of a bitch. USA. I'm going to take Chicago's very own Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson.
Allen Robinson, also a graduate of the greatest university to graduate a man from Pittsburgh. That's Penn State. Penn State. Penn State. Adam Smith back to the podium.
Hello, hello. Not too familiar with the man, but I like his name. Doug Baldwin. Doug Baldwin.
I like that pick.
Like
I
7
like that
touchdowns.
pick.
Cody gonna get this golden tape, get it over with.
I think Doug Baldwin is actually going to have a breakout year. Up comes Roger Goodell's son's friend, Cody. Cody Hall, commissioner of the league. He's the one that put this whole thing together, and he'll be the one taking all of the flack all season long.
Oh, I take flack for this one too. Golden Tate.
You know what? That's not a bad pick.
Interesting.
First of all, I'd like to thank VanHalenStore.com for the lower half of my apparel here today. Shout out to everybody over there. I am going to pick in the fourth round, wide receiver. Derek Carr's throwing to him. John Gruden's coaching him. Mr. Cooper. I'm going to hang with Mr. Cooper.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper.
You guys missed a good hanging with Mr. Cooper joke there. I appreciate that. Fantastic. Jay Cutler to the board. Jay Cutler to the board.
I refuse to let you have that moment. This hurts my heart to say this because I should have picked Robert Griffin III for you. I will take, hey man, you the one got on that horrible ass jersey. Let me get Randall Cobb from Green Bay.
Randall Cobb. Okay. Randall Cobb. Up next, Mark Fernandez.
I'm really torn between two players.
There's a lot of ex-Dolphins on there.
I know. So I'm really torn between two players, both of them ex-Miami Dolphins. Both of them exceptional memories for me.
Take 'em.
Okay, one of them 98-yard touchdown run against the New York Jets
How do you pronounce his last name?
that I was there for. And another one, the only running back besides Ricky Williams and O.J. Simpson, I believe, to rush for consecutive 200-yard games.
Take Tannehill.
Right. I'm going to go...
Tannehill to call it a day.
I'm going to go between two different... I'm going to go... Fuck! I'm going to go... God, man.
30 seconds.
All right, Jay Ajayi.
Philadelphia running back.
You're the English player in the league. I wanted to have him as my token. God.
I don't know if what you guys know, but you just witnessed a man's brain implode on itself, and then words spew from his mouth. Jay Ajayi. Up next, Finstock, who knows what's going on in that head.
I know.
Tom? Yeah. Could you do this in a German accent if you don't? You were just there, so I figured. Croatian, sorry.
They love me. Just bought a place for $85,000 over there. I'm not going to tell anybody where it is, though. You know, I like this guy, and I think this team's going to get some wins this year. I'm going to go with Jarvis Landry. Yeah.
Jarvis Landry, Cleveland Browns. All right. Perry Nemiroff finishing off round 4, starting round 5. Before we get to Perry, I'd like to recognize another sponsor of the show, Perry's Instagram photos from press junkets. Always seem to be a horror movie that nobody seems to know about, but would scare the crap out of me. All right, Perry, go ahead.
Setting the high bar with that one there. All right. Then I'm going Zach Ertz.
Oh, tight end, Philadelphia. Good choice.
And Josh Gordon.
Josh Gordon off the board. Ben Stock.
Got my eye on 2 guys here. This guy's really rated high. I need a back. I'm going to go with this guy, Royce Freeman. He's a very quick guy, and I think he catches the ball a lot too, so we'll see.
Royce Freeman.
Rolls-Royce Freeman. Denver Broncos. Coming up next, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy that keeps the lights on, Mark Fernandez. Fernandez is not excited. His brain is still melting.
Look, this is like, first of all, it was just to give a little bit of, like, we didn't know it was a 1-point PPR thing until seconds before this thing happened. It messed up my entire draft board, and it's forcing me into picking from fucking Green Bay, Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham.
God damn
That's
it.
a great pick. I actually really think Jimmy Graham's going to have a breakout year. A couple years buried in New Orleans. Or where was he? Seattle?
He was in Seattle and New Orleans. I'd like to point out this is the most fun part of the fantasy draft for people watching at home because the attitude each player comes up with is only going to get progressively worse with each passing round.
Oh, who's this guy? I don't even know him. All right.
Fucking Fernandez just took my damn pick. I had this planned and plotted. God damn it, Greg Olsen.
Dan, that's a yeah.
He's a Miami Hurricane.
That's a rough second choice. Isn't he like 40?
He just turned. He just celebrated his 37th year in the league. It's crazy.
God damn it.
I'm going to take from the New Orleans Saints, Mark Ingram.
Mark
nice
Ingram off the board. Cody Hall. There aren't many Codys in the league, so you're going to have to pick away from a Cody.
Cody Incognito.
Going with Delaney Walker.
Ah, tight end, Tennessee Titans. Delaney Walker. All right, Adam Smith.
Yeah, I hope he's not injured. I don't know much about him. Marvin Jones Jr.
Oh, that's a great pick. Marvin Jones Jr. He's got Matt Stafford throwing the ball 74 times a game.
Marvin Jones Jr.
Marvin Jones Jr. I like it. Okay, Matt Nose to the board.
Okay. All right, let's do this.
Let's
Let's bro it up, bro.
Come on, dude.
I'm gonna take, I think, my first white receiver, Chris Hogan, baby.
That's literally who I was going to fucking
Penn
give the
State
game
product right there, Chris Hogan.
I was going to take him, but I
You motherfucker.
need a back.
No, I hate you.
Chris Hogan off the board. Here comes John Roca. Roca having a bit of a meltdown over here. He's contemplating. He's texting. His girlfriend just gave him the choice. All right, here we go.
Endorsing white receivers is top 10. Is not the top 10 point of view. It is only Matt Nost's point of view. Just want to make sure that's clear. I'm going to take Houston running back Lamar Miller.
Lamar Miller, former Miami Dolphin, now Houston Texan. I'm gonna go RC3s.
It's not sexy, but neither am I. Alex Collins.
Alex Collins, Baltimore running back.
Hey, he gets a lot of
Baltimore will put about 100 points up the entire season. Let's hear it for Jack Hind, everybody. Jack.
Hi, Josh. Great job you're doing, by the way,
thank
today.
you.
Just wanted to let you know, seeing as no one else has said it yet.
I'm the only one clapping. Here.
Everyone's too busy eating wings. Yeah, I know. It's great doing the stickers. I would like to take Los Angeles Rams Brandon Cooks.
That's a good pick. That's a good late round pick.
Yeah, see that hat?
All right. Jack Hind, be ready for the wraparound. Dorian, you got 2 picks coming up. You're ending the 5th, starting the 6th.
Go get him, dude.
Storian with Dorian. Check him out on Instagram, guys.
The Lost Jackson brother.
All right, so I'm gonna get Robert Woods,
Robert Woods. Robert Woods, nice.
and then Cam Newton.
Cam
is off the board.
I'm gonna tell you
Controversial pick.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. Dorian is making some incredibly brilliant picks. This is a good team he's putting
He's
together.
really doing some great picks. I gotta agree. I gotta agree. Jack, come on up.
I'm kind of shit in the bed, but I'll open up the can of words and take Jared Goff.
Oh, look, he comes in.
Keep talking to me.
6th pick. All right, Jeff Snyder, everybody. Sorry, you missed it. You're doing a Boston accent this time.
Like Tom Brady over
Go on, get Edelman. Go on, get Edelman because we know you want him. Go pick Edelman and call it a day.
It was between Julian or another Jew. Double it because I'm a Jew. Juju Smith-Schuster.
That's a Pittsburgh Steeler right there. That is a great pick. Guarantee you, Juju Smith-Schuster has 42 touchdowns this year, easily. Probably Ben Roethlisberger going to throw 10 to 15 touchdowns.
Juju might be the strongest pick.
42 touchdowns. All right, up next, John Roca, host of Collider Sports Time. I was on the debut episode. Hell of a time. He and Matt Nost doing a hell of a job over there at Collider Sports.
Roka's Jets is not turning out the way I thought it would.
I don't think it's turning out the way he
thought it would.
Roka's that dude studying right before the test, walking into the test, rips it, toss it, right in. All right. John Roca, everybody. Excuse me. Thank you.
I'm going to take New York Giant tight end Evan Engram.
I believe it's just Evan Ingram, but Avon, I'll take, sure, no problem. All right. A lot of tight ends off the board. Still a bunch of good tight ends out there. One in particular that really grabs my eyeballs. Yeah.
All right. I'll take Corey Davis from Tennessee.
Corey Davis, Tennessee.
I'm looking for a power combination here. We're going with Matthew Stafford.
Matthew Stafford to Marvin Jones Jr. Okay. I like it a lot. Matthew Stafford off the board. Detroit quarterback. Could this be his year? They make a playoff run. We shall see. Cody Hall up next. He looks confused. He looks concerned. He also looks
10 years old.
I wasn't going to go there. You kind of put the
I
joke
was
in the
setting
mouth.
you up for you.
Yeah, okay.
Duke Johnson's still on the board. Deanna Lewis still on the board.
All right, I'll go with Emmanuel Sanders.
Oh, Denver wideout Emmanuel Sanders, former Pittsburgh Steeler, number 2 on the depth chart, number 1 in our hearts. Adam drafted Matt Stafford. Mark Ellis handing him the paper.
Yeah.
He is the Rich Gannon of fantasy players. He's a sidearm slinger. He'll make a Super Bowl.
All right, I really want to congratulate Jalen Ramsey on being the best trash talker since Gary Payton. I just want to take the Jags defense now, but I'm not. I'm gonna honor my dearly departed grandma who got to see the Philadelphia Eagles win the Super Bowl, not with this quarterback, but with this quarterback in a knee brace, and that would be Carson Wentz.
Oh, wow. Pennsylvania stepping to the board.
Saxonville.
Jay Washington to the stage. I will be outside.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you moving away. Since none of you bastards took him, and I'm so glad, I thought Mark was going to snatch it. Sammy Watkins.
Mark Fernandez melting down again.
Yeah.
Alex Smith, here it comes.
So this is basically forfeiting the league, but as my quarterback, I'm gonna take
Ryan Tannehill.
I'm gonna take Kirk Cousins.
Oh, nice choice.
Oh.
Wow. The old switcheroo from Mark Fernandez. I got to tell you, I think Kirk Cousins is going to have a huge year. I got some insider info. So, Tom Dagnino, aka Finstock, aka the Croatian Crusher, Captain Croatia. I apologize. Sorry about that.
Into the mic. Let's. You know what? Since my team is so good already, I could take a guy on a 4-game suspension. I'm going to go with Julian Edelman.
Julian Edelman. 4 games out. You're aware, right? I don't know.
Receiver, New England Patriots, Julian Edelman on a 4-game suspension for
2 picks. 2 picks, Perry?
snake oil. You're up, Perry. Julian Edelman. Okay. Perry with the next 2 picks as we end round 5 and begin round 6. Sorry, end round 6, begin round 7 of the Collider Sports Fantasy Football Draft. Perry, your pick.
Then I'm going to go Dion Lewis.
Dion Lewis, running back, Tennessee, former University of Pittsburgh standout.
And I'm going to take Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson, quarterback, Houston. Well done, Perry. Perry with some top picks up top. And with the final selection in the 2018 Collider Sports Fantasy Football Draft, Dorian Parks selects
Dan Bailey.
kicker, Dallas Cowboys. Thank you all for watching. My name is Josh McCouga. All the members here at Collider, everybody getting psyched for the fantasy football season. It's been a blast. Everybody, yeah, get some people over here. There you go. Stay tuned for fantasy updates throughout the season. Stay tuned to Collider Sports for all your sports content. And
Remsen ate 38 wings.
subscribe to the channel. Follow us all on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you guys for watching. This has been the 2018 Collider Fantasy Football Draft.